Hello everyone. Let's go through our next module on loops, conditional statements, and control statements. Before getting to this today's module, let's quickly recap what are all the things we learned so far. So far we looked at the introduction to Python and the variables, data types, and comments in Python. Then the various collection types in Python, typically the built-in collection types like list, tuple, set, and dictionary. And we also learned about the array module. And in the last session, we learned about the operators and expressions, right? So now let's go through the loops, conditional statements, and control statements. Before we start, let's understand the loops principles with the common examples, and so that we'll be able to understand the entire session more comfortably. Let us assume we have eight balls in a jar. Okay, so if you look at it here, there are two blue balls and two green balls, and then two red balls, and then two yellow balls. Right? Totally, we have about eight balls are there. Okay. Now you are taking randomly one ball from the jar, and then whatever the outcome that is coming, you are having that value, storing that value in a list. Okay. Okay. Let us assume that I'm just picking up the first ball. It happens to be 0. Okay. Sorry, it happens to be yellow color. And then we have the second ball, which is green. Then the third ball, we are picking it up, so it is blue. And then the fourth ball, when you are picking it up, it is blue again. And then the fifth ball, when you are picking it up, it is yellow. And sixth ball, it is red. And seventh ball, again, it is green. And then finally, the eighth ball happens to be red color. Okay. Assuming that you are just making a note of this in the in a form of a list, right? So that, I mean, for example, Y represent yellow color, G represent green color, B represent blue color, and then R represent the red color, right? So you might be asking why I just put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, right? So because we all know that in the Python programming language, everything will be stored in the, I mean, the index number will be starts from 0, all right? So instead of marking it as 1, I'm just putting the index number as 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay. So now I just given the values as it is. Okay. Now if you look at it here, I know that in the jar there are about 8 balls are there. Okay. I'm just picking one after the other. You can see it here. I'm just picking one after the other. And then whatever the color of the ball that I'm getting it, I'm just making a note of that. Okay, till all the balls are taken out from the jar. So that means I know that this is my start point. I just take it, and then I'll know when is I'm going to end. When all the balls are taken up, I'm going to end it. All right. So it is very clear. This one scenario. Let us take one more scenario. I just only want to pick up only 4 balls. Okay. So that means it is my first ball will be yellow, my second ball will be green, and third ball will be again blue, and fourth ball also will be blue. So that means what is happening? I know I'm starting with the first ball and then ending with the fourth ball. Okay, so here also it is very clear, right? I'm just completing that. Okay. Now let us look at a scenario. You take, I mean, just imagine a scenario where you take the ball from the jar until you get a red colored ball. So what does it mean? You are giving a condition and you just check that one whether the ball is a red color or not every time, right? Once the ball is red color, you are stopping there itself. Okay, assume that now I just take the first ball as yellow, second ball has come to be green, third ball is again blue, fourth ball is again blue, fifth ball it is again yellow, and then my sixth ball happens to be a red color. Is it clear? So now I'm stopping it here. That means there is no, I mean, there is a possibility that I may get the red color ball in the very first attempt itself, that I may stop that exercise. Or I may get my red color ball in this third attempt, I may get it. So here, I do not know when my event will get over. But only my condition will tell me that if the color of the ball is a red color, you stop that one. So that's what we are looking at it, right? So this is the one more scenario. Okay, we'll be having it. Now, there is a scenario. Okay, so you just pick up all the balls, but except red color ball. That means what you'll be doing, if any red color balls come, you just keep it aside, and you just continue with that. So that means when all this yellow, green, the blue, and all will be available. When this red color ball comes, you just keep it aside, so you will not be marking it here. And then again, what is the next ball? You will get this again green, and then again you are trying a red color. I mean, you are just keeping it aside, so you don't use that one. Okay, so that means you will be continuing the game, but even though that particular condition is there, you just ignore it and you remove that, and then you just continue that. That means here what happens? The red color ones will not be taking it. Okay, you are keeping it aside. Okay, and there is a scenario. Okay, you may have that. Let the red color be there, but you just mark it saying that this is the red color ball. Just a text to a warning message, you will just give it. Okay, and it will be warning message. Similarly, you just put the green color ball comes again, you will get a red color ball, and there also you just message, you say it is a red color ball, you are just giving it here. So in that case, what happens? Whenever there is a red color ball, it just puts a message to you saying that this is happening. Okay, so that way you will be able to have different scenarios here. Okay, now just quickly recap whatever we have done, then why we are discussing about that you'll be able to understand, right? So, I mean, we have seen that there are 8 balls in this jar, okay, and I just keep taking one ball after the other, and then just I make a record of them in a list, and that list is nothing but x variable. I'm just giving it here, and then whatever the order I'm just getting it here, I'm just placing all of them. Okay, so now on to the just print color of all the balls vertically with their index position. This is what is done. So in this case, the start point I know, the end point I know, so that is where here we will be using for loop, because for loop needs where are you starting, where are you ending. So that is what it is indicates. Okay, so I'll be able to do that for starting and end points are known. Then I can go for loop. Okay, and here, suppose if I here also, if as I mentioned, fourth index question is what the fourth. This is the fourth one. So that means up to this also I'll be able to do. So this is the second one. The third scenario we looked at it. What is that? I'll be keep on taking the ball until I get a red color ball. Okay. That means once the red color ball comes, I'll not continue to pick up the rest of the balls. So that's where you will get it. So print the color of all the balls till you get the red ball. Okay. So here what happens? Your red ball, you may get it here in the first attempt also possible, or it can be this third attempt. Sorry, third attempt or the fifth attempt. Okay, then like that we'll be able to get it here. Okay, so then that is what I'm just doing that here. Okay, so now I recorded the same thing also here. Okay, and then I'm just picking it up, but if the red color ball comes, I'll not continue the game, I stop it there itself. Okay, that means based on the condition, I'll just keep executing the first one. I'm just checking it. If it is not red color, I'll pick up the next ball. If the second one also not red color, I pick up the next ball. Like that, I'll be keep on doing that. Okay, but until a particular condition is met. Okay, so when that kind of scenario, it is called as while loop. Okay, because where you will be having a particular condition there. Okay, and then here, if you look at it, the even if the particular I mean the red color ball, the condition is met, I just ignore and I just move to the next one. So in this case, it is called as continue. Okay, so I'm just introducing something called control statement, in which there is one thing called as continue. But don't worry about it. We'll be having detailed examples in the later part also, continue part. And then the next one we'll be having is the even if there is a red color, just to mark it as, I mean, you print that red color and also just give a note stating that it's a red ball. If you say that one, then you are just only passing next one. Okay, and then next you will get this one. Again, you get a red color ball, and again you just make a note of it, and then you will still pass it here. So here that control statement is called pass. Okay, and here suppose if the red color ball comes, then after that you don't want to continue, then there is one more control statement called break also there. Okay. So in this entire exercise, we will be learning about what is a for loop, what is a while loop, what is a control statement like continue, break, and pass. Okay, that's what we'll be learning it. And there is one more scenario. Like we all know that, right? When someone is asking you, would you like to drink? What would you like to drink? Then you may respond that if you have a coffee, that's great. Otherwise, tea will do. Okay, that means what? If something is there, you go with that. Else, you'll be going with tea. That's what the option, right? Maybe I can just elaborate this one. If you have coffee, that's great. Otherwise, milk will do. Even if it is not there, I'll go with tea. So that also the third option also I can look into that. So like that, I'll be keep doing it here. Okay. So this is one way of loop will continue, right? So this particular thing here from here itself, it will be a kind of if loop. Okay. If a particular condition is met, then you will go with that. Otherwise, it is nothing but else. Else, you will look at the next option. So that is one way of doing the control statement. Okay, conditional statement. Now, here look at this particular table. Here you will see that based on the marks scored by a student, the result will be declared, right? For example, if a student is scoring less than 60, then he'll be marked as fail. And 60 to 70, he'll be marked as pass. 70 to 80, he'll be marked as pass with distinction. If it is greater than 80, it will be marked as outstanding, right? So now, this kind of scenarios also we'll be getting it in day-to-day life, right? Maybe you can also know some examples like if the age of the individual is less than 18, we will say is not an adult, right? If it is more than 18, we may mark it as adult. The vice versa. For example, if an age of the person is more than 60, we call it as senior citizen. Otherwise, they'll be I mean, not a senior citizen, right? So like that, we'll be having these kind of scenarios also. So these are all nothing but conditional statements because if certain condition is there, and you'll be making the outcome differently, right? So these are the basic things that you need to do. So that means in this whole exercise, we'll be learning about for loop, while loop, and conditional statements like if else, and then control statements like continue, pass, and break. Okay. Now let's quickly understand now. Having seen that examples, now you should be able to you can relate your to that exercise what we have seen. For loop repeats a group of statements a specified number of times. For example, I am picking the ball and I pick it up because I just take the ball. There are 8 balls are there. That means 8 number of times I'll be repeating the balls. I will be keep on taking one ball after the other, right? So I'll be repeating it for 8 times. Okay. So that means here what you can see it here, there is a guarantee ahead of time regarding how many times the loop will iterate, because we know that there are 8 balls are there, right? So 8 number of times we'll be repeating it here. Okay, here what happens, whether there is a ball is available, that condition is always understood. If the ball is not there, it stops there, right? So now what we'll be doing, initial value of the counting, whether you start from 1 or you start from 0, it's all depends upon how you initiate it. Okay, so I'm just initial value of the counting variable, I just put it. I may start with number initial value equal to 1 or initial value equal to 0, based on how I want to get into that. And then incrementation of the counting variable. What is the increment value? I mean, so plus 1, you do typically in any loop, you'll be using plus 1, or if you need in plus 2, like that, if you need in the increment, you can also give that one. So essentially, you need to understand that there is a condition and there is the initial value of counting the variable and then incremental value to increment it. If you don't specify any increment, it understand that it is plus 1 only. Okay, so that's what you need to understand. Then same way you can look at for loop here. So for loop also known as indefinite or conditional loop. Why it is called indefinite loop is means till you get the final outcome, you do not know how many number of times it's going to happen. For example, as I mentioned in the previous example, if the red ball, we do not know whether you will get it in the first attempt or you may get the red ball and maybe at the seventh or eighth attempt also possible. So that means you do not know. So you may be indefinitely will be repeating that till you get your condition. Okay. So that's why it is called while loop. And they will be keep iterating until certain conditions are met, right? That is what very, very important there. Okay. And here also there is no, here if you see there is no guarantee ahead of time regarding how many times the loop will iterate, because in the earlier example in the for loop, if you see every ball I just do it till the eighth ball is done. But whereas in while loop, what will do, the moment the red ball is uh, available, then I'll be stopping my thing. That means I do not know how many times I'll be doing that. That is what it is. Okay. So now what we'll be doing, we will be initializing the iterator. Okay, there is the initial value, you will be giving it. And we will also give a condition for that. What is the condition it has to make? For example, in our case, we gave if the ball is a red color, so you will be stopping that loop and increment the iterator. So in both the cases, you will be seeing it here. You will be initializing it, you will be incrementing it here. Okay. But here you have only Boolean condition. Okay. So it only says that, I mean, whether you met that or not, I mean, that is the loop iterating or not. But here you will be specifying any condition, whatever you specify that. That condition is met, it will do that. Okay. Now, this is the quick syntax of how the for loop, while loops are written in Python. Okay. So anyway, we'll be doing that exercise, but just to understand the structure of the loops. Okay. It is very straightforward. You will be just having a for. Okay. The keyword for, and you assign a variable to it. Okay, it can be x or it can be I or it can be any meaningful name also, you can just give it here. Okay, the variable name you can just give it here. Only one thing you need to note, that is this variable you are not going to declare. Okay, this variable you are just using inside the for loop only, you are using that. Okay, variable you will be giving it here. And then you have seen in, right? By now you should be recollected. What is it in? In is nothing but a membership operator. I hope you all know, in my previous session we learned it, right? So in or not in, we have seen that one. So what you are doing in, and you also learned about range, the range of value. Okay. So for example, it can be a range. Maybe it can be 1 to 10 or 1 to 100 or it can be 1 to 5. So whatever the range you want to give it here. And you also know that we also learned about range in the previous session, right? So now all those things we'll be using it here. Okay. And so this one line at the end, you will be having a colon. So when you, the moment you give colon, that is the end of the for statement. Okay, the beginning statement. And here inside that you write all your statement, whatever you want to specify, that it can be maybe simple example will be, I just give it on the side by, for example, I have a list which is having animals. Okay, tiger, lion, fox. Okay, this animals is a variable here for the list. Okay, but for animal in this animal is different from animals. This is a variable here. This is a variable internally used in the for loop. Okay, both are different. Okay, just wanted to differentiate it. I just given that. Okay, in the singular form. The print animal is what is the name of the animal you are just getting it here. Okay, so that means when it is looping through that, that means when you know for animal means each item. For example, you know first item is tiger, second one is lion, third one is fox, right? So it should be printing one below the other. Okay, so what I do is to make you to understand it first, let me show this example and then I'll just come back to the while loop part of it. Is that fine? Okay, so for this exercise, we will continue to use the collab only. Okay, so I'm just giving the collab. You all know by now, right, how to make use of that. Okay, so you got the collab here. So let's open a new notebook. Okay, so let's give it a file name as loops conditional control. Just 24 us to remember. Okay, loops. I just given it here the name of the file. Okay, right. Now, as we learned in the last session, okay, so let's now add a text here on the top, right? What is the text you will be writing it here? You will be writing the text as for loop, right? I'm just writing it here now. Now, let me copy this simple code and then explain to you, right? I mean, for the simplicity, okay, I mean, let me repeat the exercise again. Animals is a variable in which you are having a list of animals, tiger, lion, and fox, right? Now, for this is a variable which is initialized inside the for loop. Okay, it will not be declared outside. Okay, that's what I'm just giving it here. It's a different name itself. So animal. Okay, in animals, when you say animals, it's what this list only it is referring to that. Okay, so then when you refer to this, and what when you say for in animals, that means you are just going to zero item, going to the first item, and then you all know that it is index question only we are referring, right? So in the zero question we have tiger, one lion, second we have fox, you have it here. And you can see it here, I just simply use this colon at the end. So that means the first line of for loop and then I'm just printing it here, print, and here it is must that you should give a indentation and then you put the print. Where Python, it's a very powerful language where the indentation is very essential. It ensures that the code cleanliness by ensuring that all the indentations are done. For example, if I remove that, you will see that there is an error. It will be showing it. For example, let me run and show it to you. Before that, let's run positive part and then we'll go into the next one. And then now I'm just showing one by one it is printing. And once the uh, all the animals are printed, and then I have to come out of the loop, right? When I come out of the loop, I will say that goodbye. Okay. So if you see it here, this is outside the loop. So I'm just keeping it outside. Okay. Now let's quickly run what it means. You can see it here. I'm just printing. You know, this is a string, right? animal is colon, then after this is the string, and you are also concatenating. That's why you are using comma, and then you are having the variable name here, right? Which is the variable that's a for animal. Okay, not this one. Then inside the for loop part you are having it, right? So now you can see it here. The animal is tiger, animal is lion, animal is fox. Each one by one line, one below the other, it is printing because it is inside the loop, right? And then it says goodbye. Are you getting it here? So that is what it goes through the loop. That means till the index 0, 1, 2, up to that end, it will be executing it for all the items, and then it is printing it. Because once it reaches here, it stops. Then it is coming out of the loop, and then finally it is printing goodbye. For example, even if you don't have this, for example, if you run it, I just only I'm interested only animal is tiger, lion, and fox, but only to ensure that I'm just completing the loop, I'm just printing this. All right, right? So for example, if I'm just giving this in the front, I'm just removing the space. Now you see there is an underline, it shows that you are not, there is an error in the code. Okay, what it says here, expected indented block. That's what it is saying to you. So that means, so now I'm just saying it, I'm just giving the space indented. Now it say that red mark is gone and you will be able to run it. Is it clear? Okay, you may be asking if you are getting confused, I just take, for example, for, I just simply put X. Okay, I just say put it here X. Instead of animal, I'll just put X. Then what will happen? For every item in animals, animals is nothing but this. Okay, right? Animals is nothing but the tiger, lion, fox. And I just have it here and then say good. When I do that, when X print, what is the X value? The for here X, it automatically you are in Python, you are not going to specify the initial value, you are not going to specify the end value because it is going through this in going through each and every item, and once it is done, it stops automatically. So that's why you'll find this one. Okay. So now if you say run, you will get it now also, right? And you may be wondering, is it necessary for me to put it animals as a variable here? Can I directly give the list also? You may be asking it, right? So let us try that one also. Let me add one more code here. Okay, let me, so now here, let me copy the same thing. I'll just show you so that what are the ways you can do it. For example, I'm just removing these animals here. Okay, and I can straight away put this list. Okay, now I'm just removing this line. Are you able to see that? I'm just directly for X in. Okay, I'm just giving directly the list lion, tiger, this one. Okay, when you say X, it is not having a standard value. That means what is the value it will take then? Okay, it will be take because internally it's reading it as 0, 1, 2, and zeroth position, whatever item is available, it prints it, and then it goes to the next loop. Then zero, first position, what is available, it will prints it, and then it goes to the second position, what is available, that value it's printing it here. Okay, so now you see this one also will give you the same result. Okay, so there is either you can describe this list as a separate variable and then go through that, or you can directly use the list if it is very small, you can directly do that one. Okay, is it clear? There are many ways we can do this one. Anyway, we'll be explaining in detail, but at this point of time, just we wanted to understand how the for loop works. Again, I just only repeat it here. This is the only thing you need to remember. The rest of things are common only. Okay. So for is the keyword, you'll be using it here. You'll be the iterator, you'll be using the value x is the variable which is inside for loop, and then in. you can use in, and then you can have a list. It can be a tuple, it can be a range, or even a string also you can use it. And in the scenario, you can even use a range also, you can use it. Okay, in all the cases, it is possible. And we'll go with that example. And then all that you need to do is you have to print out. That means the loop one after the other, when it is repeating it, it will be repeating one after the other. Okay, and so the indentation is must. That's what you need to remember that. And when you are done with the loop, you can just have a outside the loop. You can print something like goodbye. Okay, that means you completely come out of the loop. Okay, hope this is clear to you. Okay, now let's quickly go through the while loop. So now while loop, if you look at it here, while here there is an expression. Okay, simply you are going to write an expression. As long as the expression is nothing but it will be a condition, right? As long as the condition is true, it will be executing the statement. Once it is false, it stops executing that. Okay. So now that you understand what is a statement, right? For example, here we have seen the print animal is this is the one statement, right? And similar way here, if we see in while loop, we learned that while loop there is an initialization value you need to have. Okay, that's what we are having it here. And then while there is an expression, that means you are writing the x value less than or equal to 10. That's what you are writing it here. Okay. Now what you are saying, print number equal to x. What is the value number one x? You are going to write it. And then what you do, once the number is printed, you increment the number to the next one. That means the loop will be again go and then print it. Okay. I'll just explain this with this example so that we will be able to understand it. Okay. Now, so now let's have a small text here. Let's have while loop example. Okay. So now let me add code here. I just whatever I copied, just let me put it here. So now here you can see x is equal to 0 is my initial value because x initially takes the value as 0. It can be 1 also. Whatever the value you want to put, you can put that one. Okay. And then while x less than or equal to 10, that means while x, okay, you just check the less than or equal to 10, that means including 10 it will be checking that. Okay, then you print simple number equal to what is the number it will come. Okay, when you first initial value is 0, right? Then when you have print that 0 is less than 10, yes. Then what is the number it will print? 0 will be printed. Then what will happen to the x? X now value it will be incremented. X equal to x plus 1. I'm just giving it here. Okay, when I give x plus 1, what will happen? This x value is changed to now 0 plus 1, it is 1. So that now the value of x will be initialized to 1 here. So 1 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, that is true. So then you are printing it here. Number here, what will the value? 2 will be printed. Okay, let's see with an example, then you will be able to understand. Is that right? Because x value started with 0 and then you just the what is the value of x? 0. So first number is 0, it is printing. Then what you are doing, you are just incrementing the number x equal to 0 plus 1 is 1. So what is the new value of x? It is 1 now. So is that 1? You are just now again checking it. Is that x 1 is less than 10? Yes. You are just checking that. That means you are printing it here. Okay. Now what happens? Till the number equal x less than or equal to 10. So what it happens? Now the 10 is there. So then it is equal to 10. Yes. Then number 10 is printed. And now what will be? It will be 10 plus 1 is 11. So 10 plus 1 is 11 means what will happen? It is more than 10. So that means it will come out of the loop, right? More than 10. So then come out of the loop and then it will give the final print as good job. Done. Is that clear? Okay. So now suppose you just want to print all the even numbers. Then what normally you'll be doing? X plus 2 you'll be giving it here. right? Right now, every time what is the value it will give print, just see it, see the output, you'll find that. You just see 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It is coming. Okay. Suppose I just want to have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I just want to have it here. Okay. Then what I need to do? Will I get 1 here? But the first number will be 0, right? Then if I increment it by 2, it will be 2 only will come. Then how do I do? I can change my x value, initial value equal to 1. I can change it, right? So now if I change it to value equal to 1, and then what will happen? The first number will be printed as 1. Then for 1 you are adding 2. Then what will happen? It will become 3. Then the 3 number when again printed, and then again it will get incremented to 5 because we are adding another 2. Okay, let's see that how does happens. You can see 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Are you getting it here? It is getting iterated. Okay, are you able to follow me? Okay. So now, since you are checking it again after 9, when you add, what will be the number it will come? Here it will be 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 is greater than, 10. So that's why this is there is coming out of the loop, and then it is coming it as good job in sending that. Are you getting it here? You see how the syntax is very simple in Python. Simply just put while x less than or equal to 10, and you just initialize the value, and you just increment the value. So whatever the way you want to put it here. Am I writing it right? Okay. So now having iteration, I just given it here. Suppose I just want to make it as a multiplication. Okay. So simply what I'll do is x, whatever the value I'm just getting it here, I'll want to get it as a multiplication table. Okay. So now x, so x into 3, let me put it here. Okay. So now what will happen, you can just see it here. 1, 3, 9, you are getting it here. Suppose now my initial value, if we keep it as 3, then what will happen? 3, 3 into 9. Okay. Now suppose if I just make it up to 30. Okay. I'll just change it up to 30. You can just see it here. 3, 9, 27. The multiplication of the values, it will keep coming it here, right? So it's all depends upon how you want to make that one. Okay. I hope you are able to follow till now how the for loop will work, how the while loop will work. Right? You have seen that one. Okay. Now let's go through the different examples and in detail so that you'll be able to understand the concept much better. Now let us see how do we use for loop in a string. Right? For example, you have a string called Python. Okay. So now Python is available, but when I'm printing it here, I just want to print it one below the other, like this. Python, one below the other, I want to do that. So now we all know that when you say string, it is an indexable item. So it starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means it's going through one by one, and then it is the whatever the value of that, it gets it and then printing it here. Okay, so that's what I'll be doing it here. So this is where I'm just directly using the string in. Okay, you can see it here. In is the membership operator. You are just checking it, right? So that means x in, the whatever the value, I'm just going through that, whether it is there or not, I'm just taking that's all. Okay. And the other way also, as I mentioned, I can just give a string here, and then I can just use Python, and then I can use that as well. Okay, the two ways which I explained earlier as well, right? And then you're just simply printing x, what is the value is available here. Okay. Now Not only that, as I said, suppose I just want to only print it from the index position 2 to 4, right? 2 to 4, I want to bring it here. Then what will be the output we want to see, right? Those things also I'll be able to perform. So let's quickly take the example and then see it here. Okay. So now let's go to the next one. Let's copy this code. So let's take the, before that, let's use the text. So here I'm just typing it as printing by letter. We'll just take, and then we'll take the code and see it here. Right? I'm just using for X in Python. Okay. And you all know that by now I have to give an indentation and print X. Straight away I'm just giving it here, not giving any other things. Okay. I'm just printing it X. What will happen? This is the term. The loop will be going through the items, index position 0, 1, 2, like that will go. And then whatever the value it reads, and then it is printing it here. Okay. So that's what you'll be seeing it here. Python. Okay, it is as good as x of 0, right? X of, you all know that, right? Let me just give an example. For example, let me do one more. Let us make it as x equal to a string. I just make it as Python, right? Now you know what is x of 0. X of 0, what is that? It is p, right? So now let me give x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, x of 4, how many are there? 6 are there. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll not end it with 5. Right? After that, it's over. So now I'm done. So when you do this one, what it means? Okay, the last one it is printed. So just I'll say one after the other. Okay. Print. And let's say x of 1. Are you able to see it here now? So let me just say print. Are you getting Python? Right? When you say print x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, x of 4, x of 5, it is what it is reading. That means the letter Python is there. So it is going through, when you say for x, when you say it, nothing but it is x of 0, x of 1, x of 2, every time it keeps going through that. Okay, so x of 3, what is there? X of 4, what is there? X of 5, what is there? Then x of 6, nothing is there, it doesn't print. Let me show you now. When you say 6, then nothing is there. so it won't print anything, right? Because there is an error, because sixth item there is nothing is available. Out of range, it is what it is showing it here. Okay, so that's where it automatically the loop ends there. So now you can see run. Are you getting it here? What it exactly does it when you say x here, it means that x in means x of 1, that is returning p, x of 0, x of 1, y, x of 2, like that it is taking the values and it is printing it. Is that clear? Having seen this one, now understanding the next one will be easier for you. So we'll just quickly see this one, because I just want to spend some time here. Once this basics is clear, in across all other things you'll be able to follow. So now instead of directly putting Python in the for loop, for example, we have seen it here, right? For x in Python we are given. Instead I Python, I just declare it as my string Python, and then I'm just using that variable here, and I'm just again for x in that variable I'm just going through, and then print x I'm just doing it here. It will also return the same thing, right? There is no doubt about that. So here also x of in the string, what are the variable, what are the value available, it takes that. All right. So that's how it is doing that now. Now let's take the. We also learned to write. Suppose this in instead of in my string the complete value, we also know that we can also substring. I can just use it here. So let me show you one more example here now. So now let me keep the same string, but what I'm doing it here for the string, I'm just only taking 2:4. You all know by now, right? 2 is the index position and 4th is the end index position, but it will not be included, right? Right. So now what is the 2? 0 is P and 1 is Y, 2 is T. That means from T it has to print, and then T it will be printing, and then 3 is H, and then fourth position 0 is there, so it will stop there itself. Okay, that means only TH it should print. Okay, so let's have a look at it. What is the outcome it prints? You can see it here, T and H are printed here. So even like this also you can put the range. That means it is only taken that, and in that it again the first one, the second one value, so it will take that and it is printing it to you. Okay, is it clear to you? Okay, fine. So now let's get into the next example. So now this is the day-to-day of thing we all know, right? The 5 tables, 2 tables, like that we day-to-day deal in basic mathematics, we learn about the tables, right? So let us see how to generate this 5 table dynamically, okay? Let me explain it, then we can go to this example. So for example, whichever the table you want to make it, so let us make it as a variable number. Okay, I'm just making it as a number 5. Okay, so what is the table you needed? 5. And then you are starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10. Okay, that means it's every time it's increment the value 1 plus 1 plus 3, 1, 3 plus 1, 4, like that it has to come. Okay, so now how do I do that one? We'll see it now. Okay. And then this 5 is a common one because this is nothing but the number value, you have it here. Okay, so I'm just using that number value. And then all that I need to do is I need to multiply this so that the multiplication value will give me this output. Is it fine? Okay. So now, once you understand the common thing, the common sense approach, that means I have a number. If I multiply with the number 5, I'll be getting the output. Similarly, the next number should be the iterated to next one. Okay. So what ways I can do this? Okay. So here is the option. Let us try. We all learned about range earlier, right? So what I'll do for I in a range, I will use it. Okay, right? Range, I want to use that. And what is the range? One from one, because I want to have the starting value as one, and then the end value, I'm just giving it as 11. We all know that 11 will not be included. It will be excluded. That means up to 10 only it will come. That means what is the range it will give you? 1 to 10 value it will give, right? So that means internally it stores the value, right? The range part 1 to 10 it is. So now what I'll do, wherever I is available here, this is the part, this the iterator variable. So now what will be the first one is 1, second one is 2, the third one is 3, fourth one is 4, like that you'll be having it here. Okay, so that means when you print it here, this is the format you are looking at it. This the I is the dynamic changing value, and I'm just representing cross mark and just putting that cross mark here, and then I'm just equal to, I'm just giving it here value. You can see it here, all these are separated by comma. That means what? You are concatenating all the strings. Let's say up to this all the strings are available, and then equal to also you are just having a string here, and then you are calculating it, right? What is the value? Multiply by this one, what you are showing it here. That's what you are doing it here simply. Is that clear? Let's take this example and then you'll be doing, then you'll be able to understand more in detail. So now just add the code. So let me copy this. I mean, before getting to this, I mean, let's start from the concept is, for example, I have number, I need to print it, right? And then I have a value. I mean, I'm just multiplying that. So there is a string multiplication string, which I'm just having it here. And then the number, what is the number? If it is 5 table, 5 should come this number, right? It will 5 will be automatically come here. Okay. So that variable only I'm just using it here now. And then I need to concatenate equal to single because I'm interested to show the equal to symbol. Then after the equal to, I should know the multiplied value. What is the multiplied value? I know what is I here. It will be changing 1 to 10 it will come. I, and then the number, what is the number? 5. Number is 5 is fixed here. So that means they it go through the entire range, and then once it reaches 10 it stops. All right, that's what it is. So now what I need to do, this is what my output, I'm just expecting it here, and then I'm using a for loop. So I'm just using for I in a range. So you all know the range 1 comma 11 will give you the values 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? So now let's see the output. 1 2 3 4, right, up to this. Okay, let me take the another example here. The same thing, you know very well that suppose I just copy this entire thing, I'm not making any change here. For example, I'm just keeping the number as 5. Okay, for I in, you all know that I can just give a list value itself, right? The list, what is the list value? 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8 comma 9 comma 10. I can also do like this also, right? So that means the each of the value for I, first one is 1, second one is 2, like that it will be keep giving me that, right? So that means the 1 is coming here in the first loop, it will come. Then second it will be this number. Now this number into 5. Then the third it will pick up 5, 3 and 3 into 5. So like that it is printing now, right? So that's what you are going, just giving the output, right? So now we have seen a range also, I can use it. I can also use the, I mean, sorry, one is range, the next one is the list, we used it here, right? Instead of list, you have by now you have guessed it now, right? You can use here tuple also, right? But an interesting thing, why, for example, I'm just using a tuple here. Okay, let me undo. Let me copy the same thing and just put it one more example so it will be better, right? So now this is with the list we have done. Now same thing we'll do with the tuple, right? So I just remove the list and then I just give tuple. I think you all know, right? The tuple is represented as a round bracket, right? So now let me run that. You see, with a tuple also, I'll be able to get the same output, right? Now, what is the next one? We can try with set. So let me copy this. I'm now just doing a set here. So how the set will be represented? It will be represented with the curly braces, right? So I just use the curly braces here. So let us print it now. So you can see it here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. It will be getting it here. Okay. So that means you can use a tuple or you can use a set or list or range. Whatever you need, you can do that one. But you can just now again you run this tuple. Sorry, set one. We'll just keep running. Okay. So fortunately in this case, it is automatically taking the numbers in the order. Otherwise, you know, right, the set will not show the same number. It will be showing in the random order. Since you are in the for loop, so you will not be finding the random order here now. Okay. So that's what we'll be able to see it now. Okay. This is the one way of doing it. Okay. Is it clear to all of you now how to use with a list, tuple, and set? Okay. And we also learned, right? I mean, earlier with a string. Now, the same example, let me do with the, for example, let me take the same list. I'm using my values as a list. I'm just giving it here. Okay. So now here, what I'm just doing here is I'm just removing this. My values, what I'm doing, I'm just only taking this section of it. Right? You can see it here. My value only 4 to 8. I'm just taking it here. What is 4 to 8? The index position of 4 is nothing but the value 5. Right? And then 8. So 8 is 5 here, and then sorry, this is the index position of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means 9. It will get stops here. That means this is the law. I mean, up to 8 it will come. Okay, you all know that the last one will not be included. Okay, and you can see that the content remains same here. So let's see now what is the output. 5 to 8 only you will be getting it here, right? So that's how it is printing it here. Are you getting it here? So this is how you can use the complete for loop using these examples. Okay, and let's see. Same thing we also learned about arrays, right? Let us try with an example of array how to make use of that. Okay, so let me take an example of array. You see whether whatever the collection type you are choosing it here, as long as you understand the concept, that is more important. You know that the array you need to import from array module, and then you are just declaring the array like this, array equal to array dot. You are just specifying it here. You see it here, I'm just giving the values 1 to 10 because I'm just interested in getting the pi table from 1 to 10, right? And then, instead of passing the, I'm directly giving the array value here. Okay, that means it will be iterate through these values available here, one after the other through index questioning. Okay, now we will get it. When it's a print, so for example, I need to just give a space here because it's highlighting in red color. That means I need to give the indentation part. It takes care, right? All the things remain same. Okay, now see, using arrays also, I'll be able to do that one, right? And then finally, you also have in arrays also you can do slicing, right? So you can use the in the same example. I'm just using it here. So now let me take the same example. So here what I'm doing it here, I'm just doing the slicing, right? So what is it? Array 4 colon 9. I'm just taking it here from 4 onwards. That is nothing but 5. I'm just from 5. It starts from 5, right? 5 and the 9 will not be included. That means the ninth item will be 10, right? That means up to 9 it should print. Let's see, right? 9 into 5, 45. Okay, so this is a reason, I mean, understanding the basic things in the beginning of our training program, whatever is told about you about the indexes and then the various data types, collection objects, all you need to be very thorough. Then you can easily play around with this, right? Okay. And once you understand this concept, I mean, here you can see it here, the note is given. I mean, so for loop, you can also use for reading lines in a text file also, you can just use it. We'll be learning that in the, when we are learning about the file handling, that time we'll be understanding that, okay? So now, one more interesting part of for loop, okay? Suppose I have multiple items. For example, you all know, right? Sometimes you'll be going to a shopping mall and you will get an item, and you will also buy the items in quantities, and you also know the rate of these items, and then you want to know the amount how much it is. Okay, but each of them are available in different data types. For example, item, I'm just having it as a list, and quantity, I'm just having it as tuple, and the rate, I'm just having it in set. Okay, but now how do I read through this? For example, it item is apple, and I ordered 10 quantity, and the rate of it is 50, and 10 into 50, it should be giving as 50 to me. That's the amount, right? This is what need to be done. So how do I do this one? Okay, in Python, it is very, very simple. It is something like, for example, so far you would have seen there is only one variable inside for loop. Okay, now you can see x, y, z, three variables I can have. Any number of variables I can have. Only condition is that the equivalent number of variables I should have it decide. And there is an important keyword called, you know that we used to have simple one means for x in item we will be giving it here. Okay, and then you have quantity means I have quantity, I have rate here. Okay, but each of them should be in a three different variables inside for of x, y, z. I'm just giving it here. But all I want it to be zipped in the sense in the same index position of arrays it will take it. Okay, so this zip is the key word. You can understand it here now. Okay, let's try this and then you will find the result. You'll be getting the result like this. For example, apple, and you are want to print it, right? Print x is nothing but item, and y is nothing but the quantity 10, and rate is nothing but 50, right? And then you will find amount is nothing but the calculation of calculated value. I mean, y is nothing but the quantity into rate is the amount. That's what you are seeing it here. And here one more interesting part also I need to convey to you why the results are different. Okay, we'll see it here. Okay, we'll quickly run this one now. So let me copy this straight away. Then go here and paste it here. And here all the syntax, everything is fine now, right? Item I have, okay, quantity rate. So now you can see it here. Apple is 10 quantity, rate it is showing that 50, okay. But whereas the rate it is showing here as true only. Why that is happening? Okay, you all know that rate is given as a set data type. When you use set, you know that it is in the random order, it is not in the same order. Okay, so that is where you are not supposed to use set in these kind of scenarios. Okay, so you need to be very clear in choosing, because the set always gives the random values, right? So now for our the learning purpose, I'm just changing it to tuple only. Okay, now you can see the result. So apple and quantity 10, rate is 50, it is coming here, right? And then amount is calculated here. So 10 into 50, it is 100. And orange, the next item it is orange, and it is quantity 15. You can see it here. And then the rate is 10, and then it is $150. Okay, then banana, you can see the third item is banana, and the quantity is 5, rate is 2, and then 5 into 2, 10. That's what you're just getting it here. Is it fine? So, I mean, the example was purposefully given. You may be wondering why I'm not getting it here. Okay, then you need to know that this is given as the set. So, if set will always give the random value, so you will not get the desired output. So, say just we change that one to tuple and then we run that one. But a very important thing to know is the zip. Okay, so with this you'll be able to do a lot of, it's simple, but you see how simple it is, combining multiple variables into a single loop and then doing that one, right? Okay, so then now let's get into the next content is on the while loop. Okay, yeah. So now if you look at it, while loop, I mean same the table whatever we created so far using the for loop, the same thing can be done with a while loop also, all right? And while loop, you know, when it reaches 10, you can stop it. That is the one kind of condition you can just give it here, right? Yes or no? So let's try with that simple example, then we'll get into the part. But all that you need to know is that here, since I'm just again, I'm interested in creating the pi table using while loop. I'm trying to do that now. So here the initial value starts with 1. That's what we are doing it now. And if I value less than 11, that means up to 10 it will come, right? And then print I into the number is 5 equal to then 5 into 1 value. Then it reiterates to the I mean I become 1 plus 1 2, then the 2 value it will come here. The 2 is less than 11, so that's where the next one it will print. So like this it will be keep on doing till the value less than 11, right? So I mean the same example we can do it with the while loop also, right? So let's now try with this. So I have a text here, while loop, okay. And you all know that the important part of while loop is you need to specify a condition, right? So now let's add the code and then paste it here, right? Now you are again we need to ensure that the appropriate indentations are given, okay, right? you are getting the same output what we have done with for loop also, right? But here you are explicitly writing the condition. In for loop, you are having it as a list value or tuple value or a range, and you are just providing to that and then executing that. Okay. So now here, the range itself will take care of the initial value because your start value you are giving it here. And then increment value by default, the range, it is a plus. Okay. That's why directly it is replaced with a range instead of having initial value as separate one. Are you getting it here? In for loop. And in while loop, you'll just see it here, I less than 11. Okay. So now you get the output here now. So now let's take the same example. Okay. There is one more thing called while else. We have learned about while loop, and in Python there is one more thing called while else. Okay, that means once the loop is completed, you can just print some other value, like how we have seen in for loop, right? Once the loop is completed, you can just print goodbye, right? Similar way, I can just put that one. Okay. Now what I'm doing it here, while it is same as the previous one, there's no change in that. Okay. Only thing is I just introduced else, while else. Okay, if it is else, you are just printing this. I'm just printing end of loop, just only to show that the loop is completed. I'm just doing that. You can see it here. There is an indentation error because okay, so here I need to, because the iteration should be inside and then the else should be here, right? So here in Python, as I said, the syntax are very important. Sorry, indentations are very important. You can see it here now. And else, when the loop is over, you are just coming out and then you write end of table. That's what we are doing it here, right? This is called while else. Okay. If you look at other programming languages, there is something called do while also. Typically in Java, some of you might be knowing that. There's do while also will be available. That means at least the statement will be executed once before that it ends. Okay. And similar to that, you'll have different here. Okay. So now, whatever we have done so far, we can try in while loop. No, while loop also you can do all these exercises. We will just show one by one how to do that. Okay. So now, for example, I'm just taking the variable as a equal to Python. Okay. Next, what I'll be doing here is I'll be just initializing the value by I value as 1. Right? I equal to 0. I'm just giving it here. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'm using while loop. Okay. What is the while loop? How I'm using it here? While my length of a. What is this length of this one? We all know that how many number of items are available. So here in this number of characters. So P, Y, T, H, O, N, there are 6 characters are there. I mean, what is the length of A? A is 6. Okay. So length of A is 6. So that means the value 6 is assigned to it. Okay. So now I will be doing that one. Now what I'll do is I just want to print it. Okay. What I need to print? Right. I'm just interested to print A. I value. I just want to print it A of I because we have seen earlier, right? That's how we'll be using it here. Okay. And then I value just getting incremented and then again you just print it here. Okay. So now let's say, how do we do this one? Okay. So now just say now. You can see it here, Python, right? So you can easily do that, right? So A, instead of giving a 0, A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, like that. So you are just adding the I value. I value, you know, it is 0. The index position 0 is P. So you are just getting that one. Index position 1 is Y. So that's how it is getting printed here, right? You are able to get this one, right? Now let's take the same A. Let me replace it with a list. Okay. So I'm just replacing this one with a list now. So let me add one more. I'm just replacing it with a list now. And then what I will do is the remaining part I just copy the same thing only. Okay. Okay. So now I is 0. That means my I value. What is the length of this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? The length is 5. That means up to I less than 5 it will do. Right? And then print A of, now in what is the initial value? 0. A of 0 is what? 1. That's what you all know, right? When we are learning about the slicing part, we learned about it in the list how we are doing it. And then what you are doing, you are initializing the value of I. You are incrementing it by plus 1. So then automatically the next value it will be taken. It will be printing it. Now you can see what is the value it will print. 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, one below other, you will see that. Are you getting it here? So like this you'll be able to do. I mean how to navigate through list. The same thing you can navigate through array also. Okay. Okay. So now you would have seen it as a tuple and also set. You can see it here. Okay. So let me just quickly copy that now. I'm just copying a set now. Sorry, a tuple. Right. Let's see the output. So 2, 4, 6, 10, 8. 2, 4, 6, 10, 8. It is printing it here. All right. Now we understood, right? How do I make use of the different collection objects, and but how I'm routing through while loop. Okay, I'm just doing it here now. And then let's take the set and just change it to set now. Okay, when I change it to set, so here if you see it here, when it says set object is not subscriptable, so you cannot route through this one. We all know that, right? As part of our set, indexing is not possible. You cannot just iterate like this. So that's why it is throwing the error. Okay, so that's the purposefully it is given here to know that. Okay, so now let's take the array part of it, right? So for array, you all know that we need to import it and then do. So let us just add, just doing import array, and then you will just be doing this. Okay, now remove the comments here, and it should be printing 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, right? You know what is the length of the array, right? Length of the array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, and then I value you know. So up to that, whatever is required, you can print it. Suppose you are just only interested to print only up to 3, then I can directly give the value as 3 here itself, right? But here I'm just routing through the entire thing and just printing it now. So 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, it will be printing it. Okay. So this is how the while loop can be used in different scenarios. Let's look at the next part. Okay. So is it clear up to now? I mean, how to make use of for loop and how to make use of while loop, right? And while loop also we have learned two things. One is called while, other one is while else also, right? Else is nothing but once everything is completed, when you come out of the loop, you can also print some statement, whatever you want to have. Okay. Or you can have multiple statements to be executed as well. And similarly for loop also we have seen how to go through the loop, and after if you're coming out of the loop, how to print it, right? Okay. So now the conditional statements, we have already seen the example, right? Do you like to have a tree? What would you like to drink? Okay. Then we will say if you have coffee, that is fine. Otherwise, go with tea. Okay. That means the wording itself, there is common sense approach, right? If this condition is there, okay. Otherwise, you can go and do this like that. You are doing it. That is called if statement. And only if the condition is there, only do that one. That is only if. Else also you can just have it. And if statement you can have multiple levels also you can do that one. Okay. I mean, like for example, if coffee, else if tea, else milk, else I can even say water. So that means the different levels I can just pass through and then come to that. Okay, that is where the conditional statements will come into picture. Okay, and there are nested if statements also available. We will be anyway seeing with examples. And switch statements, you might be hearing it here, but it is predominantly used in Java. You will be seeing it. The switch statements are in use, but in this module, we'll be covering only the if statements and the nested if statements. Okay. So this is the typical one example. I just I'll show it to you, then you can understand what is this. Okay. So now let's get into the conditional statements. Right now, this is conditional statements. Okay, right. I need to add it as a text. Okay. Now I'm just going to bring this down. Okay. Now let me simple example. Let's take, and then we'll explain in detail. See, you can get, there are two variables are given. What is that? X equal to 10, y equal to 10. I just given two variables. Okay. Now what I'm trying to do is, if x equal to y, now you know these are all comparison operator. Okay. This equal to is a assignment operator. Right. You got the clarity now, right? Okay. So now what I'm doing is, you can here also see here the syntax is very simple. If, that's all, and you give a condition, and then you are just ending with the colon. That's all, right? And then you are printing your statement. Whatever the statement you want to execute, you can execute that. Okay. Else if x greater than y, if x is greater than y, what you will be doing? Greater than, you just print it as x is greater than y. You are printing it here. Suppose if the value is smaller, x value is small, then you will be printing it as x smaller than y. Okay. So in any one only, and if you look at it, any one of them only will be satisfied, and then the output will be coming to that. All the three will not come, right? So let us now take an example. I just given both x and y values as same. Okay. Then which one it will come? X w equal to y. You are checking this condition. Is it both are same? Yes, both are same. Then what will happen? This will be executed. X equal to y. Then the moment it is done, it is ending there. Okay. Suppose, let's see how it is working now. You can see it here, x equal to y, because this condition is satisfied. The moment this condition is satisfied, it ends there itself. It will not go through the below statements. You get it here. So it will not stop there. If it is not satisfied only, it will go to the next one. Okay. Now let us quickly change that one. So now let me take x value as 15. Okay. So now you can see x equal to y. Is it x w equal to y? No. Reason is it is false. So that means this statement will not be printed. You all know that, right? This comparison operators will always give only boolean value, yes or no only. If it is yes only, this will be happening. If it is no, it will not go. So here it is no. So that means then it will go to the next loop. Whether x greater than 0, it is checking it. Again here 15 is greater than 10. So that means this is true. If it is true, means this will be executed. So now it should be printing x greater than y. Let us try and see. Right? So that means it has checked this here and this is not okay. Then it is executing this and this is satisfied. Then it will not go into the next one. Okay. Then let us take the other example. Let me put it as x equal to 5. So now you see how does it execute. The first condition, is it x equal to y? No. Right? So that means this statement is not executed. Then next one, is it x greater than y? No, then this condition also not satisfied. Then it goes to the third loop. Okay, so here what you will do, x is smaller than y. Yes, it is smaller than y. Then this value should print. Can you see? X is smaller than y, right? So only thing is to be remembered is if the condition is true, then only the statement will be executed. If the condition is not true, it will move to the next one. Are you getting it here? This is the simple example of how the loops will work. But if you see it here, if elif, elif, okay, that means if this is not there, the next loop it goes else, it will go to this. Okay, else is the last one. Okay, you'll be having that option. Okay, and in other programming languages, it will be, I mean, ELS, if it will be coming there. Anyway, we'll just quickly do the comparison of other programming languages also as part of this demo. Okay, so that for you to know how the different languages use different syntaxes. Okay, then next, let's take one more example. We have seen it earlier, right? Maybe if I just to put you to, I mean, go through the slide which I was explained earlier. You remember this part? So if the mark is less than 60, then result is fail. If the mark is between 6 and 70, 60 and 70, sorry, less than 60, and it is between 60 and 70, you will be marked as pass. And if you are between 70 and 80, then pass with distinction. Otherwise, if it is greater than 80, then you'll be the result will be marked as outstanding, right? This simple table is there. How do I put it in programmatically? That's what we are going to do now, right? So let's quickly go through that. So now let me quickly go to that. Yeah, here you can see it here. Let me give my, I'm just let me copy this code, then I'll explain to you. See, I'm just giving my marks as 60. Okay. Then if my mark is, sorry, 59, which is less than 60, right? If marks less than 60, I just created it. The marks greater than or equal to 60 and less than 70. That's one more condition. Or if mark is greater than 70 and less than 80. Okay, you all know that, right? It is an AND operator. It is nothing but logical operators. We all learned it, and these are all comparison operators. We have seen that one. You can see it here. We are combining both logical operator and also the comparison operator also here. Jointly, you are doing that, right? So now, if you look at it, I mean, in the if, it is just like a simple English, right? If mark less than 60 colon, right? So that means that is the end of if statement, and you start the statements what are need to be executed. Else if mark greater than 60 equal to 60 and mark less than 70, then again you are putting it end. And whatever the statement is there, you are just putting it here. And then else if mark greater than 70 or less than 80, right? You see it here. You see the number of else if statements are more, right? And then finally else print outstanding. So that means that if any other mark beyond 80, then you'll be getting it as outstanding. Or get it here. So it's straightforward. So now let's run this and see. Mark, I'm just 59 I gave. You know it is failed now, right? Because it is failed. And here now if we say, now let me take 90. So 90 is what? It is more than 80. That means else statement. It will not go through any of this. So that will pass through all these things. Then final is outstanding. It should be printing outstanding, right? Let me arbitrarily take 50. I mean 75. So 75 means what? My first one is not true. Then it goes to second one. Second one also not true. Then go to the third one. It is between 70 and 80. Right? This condition is satisfied. Then it's passed with distinction. It should come. You can see it here. Right? So like this, you can do that. These are all called conditional statements. Right? That means a particular condition is satisfied. Execute the line of code. That's what we'll be able to do. Okay. But if you see it here there is no iteration. There is only a different options which will be executed. But the options will be executed from the top to bottom till the required condition is met. It will be executed and it stops. Are you getting it here? Okay. So now let's quickly go through the control statements. Okay. So let's quickly understand the control statements. There are three past control statements are there. One is the continue, other one is break and pause. Okay. In other languages, you may be having only continue and break may be possible. Okay. So different languages have different thing. Let's quickly understand it here now. So continue, if you understand this statement, then the rest of things will be easy to follow. Okay. When you say continue, terminates the loop statement and transfer the execution to the statement immediately following the loop. Okay, what it means? It terminates the loop statement, okay, and transfer the execution to the next statement immediately following the loop. So that's what it will be doing it. So let's take an example here. Now by now you are all clear, right? For letter, I mean any variable, right? In Python, I mean I have a word called Python, right? So here, if the letter, if now you see, if also I'm using it inside the for loop, right? Inside the for loop also I can use conditional statements. Okay. Now if letter equal to h, if the letter equal to h, I'm saying continue. When I say continue, what happens? H is here. This h will not be printed. Okay. Continue to the next set of thing. So next word when it iterates, it will go to O and N. So you can just see it here the output, print current letter, and you will see letter, what is the letter of that. So you can see P, Y, T, but H is there, but it ignores and then it goes to the transfers to O and N. It is printing it. Are you getting it here? And the same thing, okay, instead of continue, if I put the word as print, sorry, break, so what will happen? When the moment it looks at H, it stops there. That means this is not getting printed. So if there is no H, it will continue to this. You remember our example initially what I gave? If you are getting a red color ball, okay, you stop it. Okay, the game will be stopped there itself. So that means I can put break. Okay. Suppose if I'm getting a red color ball, but I just take it outside, but I'll continue with that. So I'm just continuing it, right? So that means the remaining balls I can continue and then do that part. Okay. Then next is the pass. The pass is nothing but I got that particular letter. For example, the same thing here, H is there. But what I do, moment I get H, I just print to a message. This is the pass block. That means I can just give some printing here. I can just do that one. And then I'll keep continuing that. But here what happens, the H also getting printed and it gives me an alert. But this will be typically just for example in the banking transactions, I'm just running through the table and suppose if there are any value more than 1 lakh, okay, or $100, more than $100 if it is there, You just put it in so that I will want to know how many transactions are more than $100 if you want to see, then I'll be able to do that one. Okay. So this kind of, it's all depends on the purpose and the context where you want to use it. Okay. So let's quickly run, executive tendency. Okay. I hope you are able to understand the three different control statements, right? So let me add a text now. Put control statements. Okay. So now let's take this example. First one. See, in this example, you might be noticing that it is the same code. I'm just only replacing the, sorry, undo. And just let me copy this. Now, for letter in Python, you all know that, right? This is the iteration variable. So if equal to, then what are the value it is holding? So it is h is when the comparison, it is checking the value yes, and it will continue. For example, you remove this so that you will have an understanding first. I remove the continue. It is a simple one, right? It's a simple. So now print. Okay. So what I need to assume that I'm just not using, not even using. So let me put a comment here. Okay. Assume that I'm not using this. Just let me run it here. What will happen? The current letter P, current letter Y, T, H, O, N, right? Simple for loop. That's what the example we've seen initially, right? So that's what. Now I'm just introducing inside the for loop. I'm using a if statement. If the letter equal to H, suppose the letter what I'm getting becomes H, okay, then I'm just saying it, continue it. When you say continue it, it will not print that one and it will move to the next one and then do the loop will be continued and then it is printing. You can see it here now. The H is not printing here, but the remaining will print it. TON is printed. Is that clear? The same continue. I'm just replacing. Let me add. Let me copy the same thing. Let me give it as print. Sorry, break. I'm just giving it as a break. So break means what will happen? We said it will stop there itself. Okay, it will not further continue. Right? That's the meaning, right? So now you can see it here. PYT is there. Then the moment H comes, it stops there. It will not continue the loop. Are you getting it? This is how you can come out of a loop. Okay, by giving a condition. In the earlier for loops, you would see that the entire loop will be continued. Suppose you want to break a loop based on certain conditions, you will be able to do inside that for loop, you can do that. Okay. And then next, let us go to the pass part of it, right? So let's add one more now. Now let me write it as pass. Okay. Now I'm just giving a keyword as pass here and I'm just saying print. Okay, it will print all of them first. Okay, let us first see and then I'll just show you how do you write some more content also. I'm just giving pass. That means it knows that there is a word, it has seen that, but still it passes that. Okay, so let's say run. You see PYTHON. That it continues the, it checks that one. Suppose I just want, if I get a value of H, okay, I just say this is a pass block, it is showing it here. Okay, I can just put surprising. You can see it here. If any surprising elements are there also, I can just put it like this. Okay. I hope you understood how to do this. Okay. So now let's go to the few more interesting things in the loops. Okay, let's take a small example to know about nested loop. Okay, so in this sample example, whatever given here, I mean, it is a simple game where you will be guessing a number using this game. Okay, and if you are making the correct number, it will be printing as congratulations. And the guessed number you are not able to do, and you can just simply say, I'm just giving up the thing. And suppose what is the guess number and what is the system generated number. If your guess number is greater than the I mean the random number which is generated by the system, then or your number seems to be larger. It will say, suppose the number which is generated by the system is less than what you guessed, it will show number is too small. Then you can adjust your input such a way that you will get the correct number. Once you get the correct number and the guest number, then it will be marked as congratulations. This is a simple game. Okay. So let's try this one, then you will understand the whole game. Okay. So let me take an example. I mean, I'm just giving nested loop. Okay. So let me copy this code here. Okay. So as I mentioned, to generate a random number by the system, okay, we are importing an module called random mod. We are importing that. Okay. So like the way you all remember, right? We have imported the array module, right? Similar way you can import it random module also. Okay. And I'm just giving a number equal to 10. That means I just want to randomly guess a number between 0 to 10. I want to guess the number. Okay. So what I'll do is, to be guessed is nothing but the system will be generating a random number. Okay. That random number, because you all know that the random numbers are always shown in decimals, right? That's how the random number will be generated. So what I'll be doing is that number I'm just multiplying in tens, and so that it will be, the random number will be in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 format. Okay, so that is the reason I'm just multiplying it with n. Okay, anyway, we will just see one by one. That's what I'm just doing. The random number will be generated by the system. Assuming that the system will ask you to input your number. Okay, so there is a variable. I'm just giving yes, and I'll initiate it. How do I initiate it? I just input new number equal to, when I put that one input, it will be giving me a text box. So I'll be keying in my value. Okay, so that's what I'll be doing it here. And then if my guessed number is greater than 0, only we'll just get into the loop. Okay, so I just always give the number as greater than 0. And then if whatever the number I guess is more than the random number generated by the system, then I say the number is too large. If my guest number is less than this one, it will be said giving me a message number is too small. Otherwise, so suppose if I just press any other number, okay, nothing but if I give the value as 0, okay, because if I give 0 only, it will go inside this loop. If I give it as 0, what will happen? I'll be coming out of that. And just no, I cannot do this one, I'll come out of this. So then what happens? You will be breaking the thing. You can see it here. Break is used here in the loop. And then else, and just if I'm able to guess it here, it will be showing me congratulations. Okay. So now let's quickly run and see. When you run it, you see it here, it is giving me an input box because we are given input here. Okay. So I need to give that number. So what is, suppose assuming that I just give a random number of say 5, I'll just give it here. Okay. So now I just enter the number. It is saying the number is too large. That means my system generated number will be less than 5. Is it clear? I'm able to guess that one. So just what I can do is I just put it as 3. Okay. So now what is my new number is 3. I'm just giving it here. It is not saying that the number is too large. That means my number is still less than 2, 3. Okay, then let me take 2. Okay, you see my guessed number is correct. Whatever the random number is generated, the congratulations you made it. That's what it is saying to me. Okay, so now let's play this game once again. Okay, so let me run it again. Okay, assuming that I just tried with now, for example, I just give randomly number 7. Number it is saying too large, it is saying. Okay, now I don't want to continue this game. I just want to stop it here. What is the way I can do? I can only give 0, then I can come out of it. I'm just giving 0. When I give 0, if the guess whatever the number I'm just giving it equal to 0, it goes to this else part. What is this else part? Else part is sorry, you are not giving up and you are just breaking it here. Okay. So now you see, sorry. Just let me put 0 and then enter it here. See, sorry that you are giving up. That's what it is giving to me. All right. Now let's play the game again. So now let me put it as 6 now randomly. My number it says it is too small. That means this number will be more than 6. Maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 is possible. So let me guess it as 8. So now my number is correct. So I'm able to do this one, right? So this is a simple game which you can use it and play around it by using this example, right? Like this, you can create your own fascinated games, okay, using the conditional statements, control statements, and also loops, right? Here you have seen that all are being used, right? While loop is being used here, and if conditional statement is used here, the control statement like break is also used here. All the combination is used here, right? Okay, I hope you are able to follow now, right? Now let's go to the next part of it. Okay, you all know that we want to create a lot of patterns in using Python. It is common in any programming languages as well also, right? You may have vertical lines to be printed like this, right? Or you just want to print horizontal line like this using stars, or it can be plus symbols or any of these dashes, whatever it is, right? Or you want to print a square like this 5 by 5 square like this. I just want to make it, okay, and then maybe you can just see it here. You want to print a pattern like right angle triangle like this, right? 1, 2 star, 3 stars, 4, and then 5 as it is incrementing it here. Maybe it is the inverted one. Maybe I want to start with 5 and then 4, 3, 2, 1 like this, inverted right angle triangle. Or maybe I can flip it. Maybe I can just have a star here towards the right in 2 stars like this. I can also have inverted of this, right? Inverted right angle triangle also I can have it here. Okay. And you can see it here. I can also have a pyramid shaped patterns also. I can just keep it here like 1, 2, but it is centrally available, right? Similarly, same thing, I can just make it as inverted one. Right? If I combine both the things, the top one and bottom, I can make a diamond shape also, I can just make it here, right? And then same way, I can just, suppose if I keep this, the inverted pyramid over the pyramid, then I can get an hourglass kind of pattern. I can get it, right? And also I can have patterns like this, right? This is called Pascal triangle, right? So you can have it like this also. You can also have it toward this. And then the pyramids, like we have seen 1, 2, but you get this in the odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, like this. You can have it inverted pyramid, and you can diamond pyramid also. You can have it like this, right? So different patterns you'll be able to do that one. How do you do this one? Okay, this all will be possible only with the loops. Okay, loops, especially with for loop. you'll be able to do that. Okay, and you also have, I mean, okay, let us quickly if I just go through the sample examples, then you'll be able to know how to get it. Okay, so let's try with a simple vertical things. Okay, so what I'll do is I just open again and just go to text, and it's a patterns, right? Okay, this is one of the most repeatedly asked question in interviews, or if you are a college student, you will be finding that in your exams, most repeatedly asked, right? As long as you understand the basics, then you will be able to create any patterns, right? So the fundamentals you need to be very, very clear. Okay, that's what we are going to do now. Okay, let me take a simple code here for this horizontal vertical, sorry, for this vertical line. Then we will understand what we are doing, then same thing we can follow. For example, the number of rows, how many number of rows you want to print it, right? That's what you are just keeping it here. For across all our patterns, you might be seeing that we are using only 5 number of rows, only we are just looking at it. So just keep it as rows equal to 5. Now you know, right? For I in range, you are giving it here, right? When you say range, range gives the initial value. Initial value is 1, right? And then rows plus 1. Why you are giving rows plus 1? By now you are very clear. Because you want to have 5 items, but you all know that when in the range, the end value will not be used, right? Will be excluded. Okay, that's where we just give 5 plus 1, 6. That means it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only, right? So that's why rows plus 1 we are going to give it. Okay, if you understand this principle, then it is straightforward. And then what you do is simply say print. So you know now inside the for loop, if you say print star, then how many number of the range values are there, that many times it will come down. Okay, now you can see it here. 1 star. The first loop there is one print star. The second again now the next value is 2. So the second is printing. The third is printing. Fourth and fifth. So for each of the rows, I mean the item, it will be printing the value here now. Okay. Now this is the first one. I hope you are able to follow that one. Now the same thing only, but I just want to print it as horizontally. Okay. There are two ways of doing that, printing horizontally. One is, right, without even using any for loop, what I will do is just to print. Okay, so let me show that example again. So now for example, without even using for loop, what I can do is I just simply print. Okay, the string is there, right? Star, the string is there. That string I multiply it by number of times. So this interesting part in Python or any program language, you can multiply it, the string. Only you cannot add two strings to numbers or subtract and all. But multiplication, what will happen is that many number of times it will get repeated when you say multiply. Okay, it will get repeated. Okay, so now if you see print, you see it here, 5 times it has come. Where the rows are 5 times the star is printed. So you can multiply that. This is a very basic way of doing it. So the other way of doing it here is, okay, the same thing. I'm just copying it here using for loop itself. Okay, and then let me move to the next one. Okay, and here what I'll do is I will just, instead of now when you are say print, it will be printing one below the other, right? That is what the default it will be printing it here. But I just want to mention that till it is ending, you can just do that. Okay, I just show that example, then you will be able to do. Okay, so what I'll do, you can see it here now. Print, comma, the star is there, comma, end equal to space double thing, double quote you are giving it here. You know again Python, whether you give single quote or double quote, it means one and the same, right? So no need to get confused again. Okay. So now here, now when I say this one, what will happen is, if the star is getting printed and the next one also getting printed next to it, till it once it reaches the end of it, then it stops. It will not move further. Okay, that means it is horizontally going to print. Let's see it now. You can see it here now, right? It keeps on printing side by side. Okay, and here I just given a space. So if I remove the space, now you can see it is printed very close by. Okay, the key is that it will get end once the last value is reached. Till that time it will keep on printing horizontally. That is the only meaning of that. Okay, simple changing, right? So if I just don't include this, you just remove, you see this. If I don't include this, it will be straightforward. It will be one below the other. Okay, if I just put this one and equal to this, if I just put that one, it will be horizontally printing. Okay, but why I'm repeating is that this very often you'll be using it in various patterns also. Okay, you can do that. Okay, now that you want to look at the square pattern, you want to make it here. Okay, so if you have to make a square pattern, now you know that you need to have one value which will move through horizontally and other value which will be go through vertically. All right, for example, you need to vertically, I'll be in first row, and then I just put horizontally, I'll print all the lines. Then I'll move to the second row and then horizontally print all the things. Then I'll go to third row, I'll print all the things. That's what I'll be doing it, right? Okay, the same approach only I'll be going to follow it here. Okay, so now you can just have a look at it here. I just created a for loop I in range 1 comma row plus 1. You now you know what is rows plus 1, right? Rows, because it's there are 5 rows are there. 5 plus 1, I'm just putting it. That means I'm starting with 1. That is my initial value 1, and incrementing it by 1. That's what plus 1, I'm just doing it here by default. So I'm not specifying that increment value here, because we know that range, if you don't specify any value, it's by default incremented by 1. And rows, what will be doing here, because my rows values are 5, but I just want to print 1 2 3 4 5. So then the if I give only rows, then 1 2 3 4 only will come, because 5 will not be included, right? So that's why I just added 1, so that it will give me up to 5. Okay, so that means my the first loop will be for my rows. Each row it will come to that. Okay, then the second one, what it does it is, I'm just opening one more for loop inside that, because I'm in the first row. And first row, the first star, first row, second star, first row, third star, like that I need to do that one. That means I need to print it horizontally. So when I need to print it horizontally, how many number of times I need to print it? I need to print it 5 times. I need to print it horizontally, right? That's what I'm just doing it here. Print horizontally. And what is that? Still the end, I'm just getting here. If you see it here, the earlier what we have done, the same thing will. I mean, that means this is for the particular row, and this is for the particular row alone, and this will be, this for loop will be row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, like that it will be keep on incrementing it. Yeah. Okay, so now you can see that output. You see one below the other, it will come, right? As I may told you, suppose if you're not having a space here, then it will be like this, closed pattern. You'll be seeing it here, right? Okay, just to have a better clarity, I'm just giving you the space, that's all. Okay, is that clear now? Okay, repeating it here again. This for each row, I'm just doing it here. In that row, I'm just giving one more, J is the iterator, I'm just giving it here. And then you can see it here. In this range, I'm just giving same 5, I'm just giving it here, and it will be keep on printing it. I mean, I just want to tell you, for example, if I want 5 rows, but 10, if I want to do it here, what you need to do it here? Directly, you can just give the values. For example, I just give it as 11. Okay, that means 1 2 10 it will has to print. You can just see it here how it gets printed, right? So it is need not have to be same value, right? I just able to print it like this. Are you getting it here? So like this you can just try around. Okay, right now I'm just doing putting it back again, same. Okay, then having understood this square and vertical horizontal part, now let's quickly go to the triangle part of it, right? So now let's go to the triangle part. So in the first row it should print only once, in second row it should print two times, third row it should print three times, fourth row it should print four times, and fifth row it should print the star five times, right? So how do I do this one now? Okay, so now first let me take the simplest one what we have done it. Okay, so now let me take, for example, I'm not doing anything here. Okay, so star, and just simply you'll know that this is a basic thing. What it will do now? It will be printing the star one below the other. Okay, one time when it is coming. If I am in first, it should print only one time. If it is then the loop will be iterated. Then the second row it should be two times. That means what I need to do? Simply multiply, and you know what is my I value, right? The range will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now let me put I value. Right now I value is here. So now the first one only one star. You can just see it here now. And then the second time there are two stars are there. So the two times it is the star is printing. Three times it is printing. Four times it is printing. Five times it is printing. Alright? Are you able to do this one? Okay. Same thing. How do I do it? Inverted one I need to make it here. So now you can use your common sense how to do it. Right? How do I do that one? So the first one it should give me 5, right? If I have to do 5 times, then how do I do that one? You know the range. You can also have it in the ascending order and also in the descending order, right? Okay, suppose if I say 1 comma rows plus for 1 means what will happen? It will give my start value as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's what it gives to me. Suppose if I start with 5, that means the number of rows 5 I'm just giving it here. Then I just give my end value as 0. When it comes to 0, stop it. That means 0 will not be included. Okay. Then what will happen? 5, but I need to give it in the decrement order. So then my iterator will be -1. I'll be just giving it here. So let me quickly tell what I mean by that. Okay. So that means the same for loop. Okay. Okay. So instead of starting with number 1, I need to start with 5 stars means I need to give first 5. Right? I'm just giving 5. And then what I need to do? It should stop at 0. That means 5 star, then 3, 2 star, 4, 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 star, and then nothing is there. So when 0 comes, it stops the my loop. Then what happens? I just want to do, how do I do that one? I need to put it in the reverse order. -1, I'm just giving it here. That is a decreasing order. Okay, decreasing, sorry, decrement, I'm just giving it here. Okay, so now this 5 is nothing but what? My number, right? Whatever the number, I'm just giving it as a variable, right? The 5 is already given. Suppose if it is not there, you can also just give it as on the top of it here. I'm just giving it as a number equal to 5. Are you getting it here now? Now it is 5 comma 0 and it is decrementing -1. That incremental or decremental we are giving it, right? That's what I'm doing it here. Now what I'm just doing, same multiplication. So now what will be my value of I? The first value of I will be 5, right? Then star into 5 it will come. Then what will be my next value? It is 4. So the next value it will be 4 into, I mean the star into 4 will come. So 4 times it will get print. So that way you'll be able to get this output. Are you able to see it here now? Very simple, straightforward, right? Okay. So now I need to do the same thing. How do I do? Suppose it's all left aligned now, right? Now I want it to be right aligned, then how do I get it? Okay, so that my stars will be available here. Okay, so first understand this pattern. What will happen when you need to print it here? For example, first one, when I'm printing it here, that means the initial four spaces are empty. That is, it is a empty space. I need to put that one. The number of spaces are empty. I need to put. Then I need to put the star. Then second one when it comes, the number of spaces are only three, and then two stars. I'll be just doing it here. I hope you are understanding what I'm asking. If you see it here the number of spaces, one, two, three, four spaces or empty spaces are there, and then one star is there. That means the first four need to be empty, and then it is star. But here if you see three spaces, then remaining star will come. And then here it will be two spaces, like that you will be getting it here, right? That is the logic you need to understand. So now let's quickly use this sample code, then you'll be able to understand and then do it now. So now I'm just giving a run. So here understand that I just have value 1 starting number, and then rows plus 1. You all know by now, you understood, right? Then now how many number of spaces will be there? We know that, I mean, if it is total number of rows are 5, but there are 4 spaces. That means, I mean, row minus 1 is the number of spaces. So you can just say spaces equal to spaces multiplied by row minus I, right? That's what the value you are getting. I is equal to 1, right? You are starting with 1. And stars, how many? So how many, what is the row number? First value 1. So only one star, you are just putting it here. So that means these two will be side by side, it will be printed. So now what is that you are doing? Spaces plus stars, you are just doing it here. It can be spaces plus star or spaces comma star, both one and the same only. Okay, now you can see it here. You will be able to get it here. You try the same thing without plus. So you just put a comma also, you can just see it here. Both are one and the same value. Is it clear? Okay. So the same way, flipped one, what you need to do, just you have to reverse it, right? You need to the number of stars will start with 5 and then slowly it get reduces, right? So exactly what you'll do, let's take the same code. By looking at the code, you can understand it now. Now what I'm doing it here, I'm just instead of starting with 1, I'm starting from 5. That rows, I'm just giving 5. And then I'm stopping at 0 and then decrementing by -1. So now my number of spaces will be the first row. What is the number of spaces here? It will be 0 only, right? So now 0 means row minus 1. The 5 value, the rows are 5. Iteration is when you are getting that value, you will be getting it as 5. So now 5 minus 5, 0. There is no space available. And then first one, but the stars will be into I, that is 5 values. So 5 times stars, that's why you are getting 5 stars here. Okay. And if you go to the next one, the next value will be 4, right? So that there are how many number of spaces will be there? The rows are 5. The value will be 4. 5 minus 4, it is 1. So there will be one space. That's what you can see it here. There is one space. And then you are multiplying it by the number of stars equal to the number is 4. You'll be getting it here, right? I'm just repeating it here. This range will give you the values as 5. I'm just putting it here for your benefit. This range will be giving you the values as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is the value it gives. Hope you all understand it, right? So because you are decrementing and this is the value, the order it gives. So that means the first one will be 5. That means 5 minus the first one is 5. Again, value is 5. The total number of rows is 5. 5 minus I value is 5. Okay, so 0, the 0 spaces, and then I value is again 5. So 5 stars, so you're getting all the stars. That's why the first one you're getting it here. Then what is the second value is 4. So 5 minus 4, it is 1. So there is only one space, and then remaining are stars. That's why you are just giving it here. Are you getting it here? That's how we'll be able to get this one now. Okay. So now let me run and show you. So for the betterment, I'll just put it as a comment so that you can easily understand what I'm doing. Right. Are you able to get it here now? Okay. So now we have done all these things. Now let's get into the next one, the pyramid and diamond shapes. So now in this pyramid, you can just try to understand the pattern, then it will be easy for you to do that one, right? What is it you are looking at is here? You are just looking at, we have a star here, right? And then it is in the middle position. So you have two stars here, three stars here, four, five are available here. Okay. So now let's quickly see, try to understand it a little bit better, then you can do this. So here what I'm just doing it here, I know my number of rows are 5. Okay. I'm starting with 1, rows plus 1, I'm just giving it here. Okay. So now how many spaces I need to give here? Okay. So here how many spaces I need to give? Can you just imagine? So I just give spaces equal to rows minus I. Okay, how many rows I have? I mean, here the rows are 5, and then minus I value will be 1 only, right? Because it will be giving me value of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only, it's giving it here. Okay, so that's how I'm just doing it here. And then stars, I'm just giving it here. And then what I'm doing it here, you can see stars multiply by I, am just giving it here. And then I'm just printing the value. But what I'm doing is here, star strip, I'm just giving it here. The strip means it is removes the space after the end one. The end is more like a trimming. Okay. So let's quickly run and see it here. So you can just see it here now. What is happening here is after every star, I'm just given purposefully as a space. If you see it here, the difference between the top one and below one. Okay, if you see it here, okay. So I just given after the one, I just given the space purposefully. Okay, after the star. But if there is that is the end of that, then it will get stripped. The last one will be not be shown. That's why it is also into the middle. Okay. Otherwise, you can see the rest of things are falling in line in between that. The code remains same. You can see it here between both the top and bottom. Right? Are you able to see the comparison? For I in range 1 comma row plus 1 here and this one. Both are same. And spaces, I just gave a space here into row minus I, the same thing, and I'm using it. Here also I'm doing the same thing here. Okay. And star, but here I'm not using a space here. Please note that. After star, I'm not using space, but whereas I'm using after star, there is a space. Okay. Now what I do, spaces, and then plus star strip. So the star strip, when I say the raw space will be removed for that. Okay. Even if you don't use strip also, it will be returning you the same say report. For example, I just let me remove the strip and simply spaces and stars, still you will be getting the same output. Right? You'll be getting the same output. Only thing is you can just see it here, there's a space available. But whereas if I use the strip, if I use the strip, you will not find any space. Right? You cannot get it. There's no space available. That's the only difference. Okay? Are you getting it here? So to get a pyramid shape, you just after the star you need to have a space. Then you understand the logic how it works. And then invert also the same thing, right? Whatever we have done here for the invert one, same thing you are doing. Just by giving a space, you are achieving the same thing. Okay. For example, let me copy the same thing. I'm just adding it here, right? I'm just giving a space here. That's all. You see it here. You see it is in inverted one. Okay. So now comes the very interesting one. Okay, the diamond shape. Okay. So diamond shape, when you want to make it here, you see it here. The first one, I just go up to 5 rows. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. I'm just getting it here. But after the fifth row, it should come in descending part, right? So I need to do that descending part I need to do. But if I just simply combine both of them, the 5 stars will be repeated 2 times, right? So I don't want that one row of extra 5 stars should come. Okay. So how do I do that one? Okay. First, let's understand that. For example, I'm just having this. You know, by doing this, I'll be getting the top portion of it, right? And assuming that I just copy this, the bottom portion also below this, right? I can do it, right? I'm just giving it bottom portion it. Okay. So this is, I'll just make it as top and just put it, make it as top, and then this for bottom, right? So now if you see, I just simply combined, I didn't do anything, just as whatever I did it for top pyramid and bottom pyramid, I'm just using that together. But now you can see it in the pyramid shape is come. But if you see it here, this line is repeating. I don't want this to be done. Okay, then what I need to do, by now your common sense works, right? Let me keep the top one as it is. That means the top one, I just retain it as it is without any change. Okay, then bottom one, what I need to do, I need to start with how many number of rows I need to have for the bottom. Only 4 rows only I need to have it, right? So I don't need this fifth row need to be happening here. So what I need to do here is rows minus 1. If I do, it will take care, right? That means 5 minus 1, it is 4. So from 4 it starts. Then rest of things will work, right? So let's see now the output. Are you able to get it now? Okay. So don't get scared when patterns are being asked. Only you understand the logic, you can easily play around with this, right? So go with the again basics very strong, then you'll be able to make it happen. Okay. Hope you are able to follow this one, right? Now let's quickly get into the next one. So now having done that one, doing this is not a challenge one, right? Hourglass, how do we do that, right? So hourglass again, if you look at it, it is just only interchanging the, I mean keeping the top pyramid and then bottom pyramid, interchanging it. If you keep the top pyramid over above, it will become diamond, right? If you keep it below the bottom pyramid, you will be getting that inverted pyramid. Okay, so that is nothing but, let me just go here, code. So I have this code, right? I can just, as it is, I can copy, or I'll just take the bottom one first. I will do the bottom one first, right? And then what I'll do, I'll just take the top one. So now this is my top, right? For the hourglass, this is my top now, right? And this is my bottom now, right? Now interchange it now. So now, if you run it, what will happen? First you see, then we can make the corrections. You see it here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. I'm able to get. Bottom is 5. On the top, you can see it here. I'm just having 1 star only, but it is repeating 2 times, right? The single star, and also I'm just missing the 5 stars on the top 4 layer part of it. So because it is happening because of the rows, I just have given it right. Now I just remove this -1. Now you are able to get. Now I'm getting this. top one I'm just getting it here, bottom one also getting it here, but unfortunately I'm getting two stars, one each. All right, that I want it to be only one only need to be there. So what I need to do now, you know where you need to start, right? So suppose it is starting from one. Okay, if I change it to two, then it will start, does it purpose, right? It starts from two, three, now it comes. Now it will perfect hourglasses come, right? Very simple, right? Now having given this, now you can explore how to generate left Pascal and right Pascal, and this is an exercise for you. You can just try it out now. Logic is straightforward, and it's only the question of how you are able to generate this code. Okay, try it, and if you still have difficulty in making it happen, make use of ChatGPT, and then you'll be able to do that part. Okay, I'm just only leaving it for you to understand it. Okay, because my job is only to make the basics understood. Okay, and it's for your additional learning purpose. Okay, we also see in the one more type of pyramid where in the first row I want only one, and the second row I just want three, 5, 7, 10, 9, like that I want to have it. Okay, so how do we do this one? Okay, so let's now quickly get into this code. Okay, so let me take this to the code, then I can explain to you, then remaining you can easily do now, right? I'll just show the pass of top pyramid. Okay, now you know the value is 1, the first row, one time only should print. And if it is second row, it should print 3. That means what it means, you need to multiply it by 2 times the row. That means when you multiply it by 2, it will be 4. And then from there, you need to subtract 1. Then what will happen? It will become 3, right? If you see the third row, you multiply the third row by 2. What will happen? 6. In that, you minus 1, it will become 5. Right? Similarly, 5 into 2, it is 10, minus 1, it is 9. That's how we'll be able to make it here, right? So that is the logic, we'll be following it here. So now you can see it here. I'm just giving a space and same, everything is remains same. You can see it here, starts with 1. The number of rows plus 1, I'm just getting it here. And the spaces, I'm just giving it here. Multiply it with what I'm doing here, rows minus 1. That means how many number of rows are there, that many number of spaces it will bring in, right? The spaces I just given it here, same thing. And then stars, okay, there is no spaces here, you can just see it here, no spaces. And then you are multiplying it by 2 into 1 minus, so that many number of stars it will come. Okay, and it will automatically gets aligned to it. Okay, so now here, because if you see it, how many spaces are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces will be there, right? So that's why it will be say rows minus 1, I, that is I is 1, that means 4 spaces will come, and then one star will be getting printed. Because the first one, 2 times 2 minus 1, 1, so one star will be printed. So that's what you are seeing it here. Similarly, second star, like that you'll be seeing. Now you can see the output. Are you able to get that here now? Right? The same thing you can just make it. You can see the perfect alignment here. And then you know now how to do the reverse part of it, right? So just let us take the code again. So reverse, when you need to do, you now you know, right? You will be putting in the reverse order. So I'm just giving it as a 5, 4, 3, 2, like that it should come, right? I'm just decrementing it here. Now what I need to do is spaces, because why? Because the first row, the number of spaces, how much you are looking at it, you need to see it here. Okay, so for here the spaces will be, you are just introducing it here. The number of rows, the first one value will be like rows of 5, and you are in the I value will be starting with 5. So 5, so 5 minus 5, 0, so there's no spaces here. And here that 9 spaces are available, I mean 9 stars will come, 2 into 5, because I is 5 and 25 is 10, 10 minus 1, 9. So you'll be getting this, right? Now when you say printing, you will be able to get this. reverse order, right? Then the same logic what we followed for the pyramid, I mean the diamond shape for the earlier case, the same logic only need to do upper part, lower part. We have these two code now, right? So let me quickly go here. Let me take the upper part code, right? I'm just taking it here, and let me take the lower part code, right? So this is my lower part. What is lower part? Lower part is this. So now I just put it here, lower part of it. Now if you run it here, I mean, most of the time, what you need to do first you try, and then you will get the logic how to do it. Now, this portion I can get it here, but there is one more extra line. I'm just having it here. So all that I need to do is a row. You all know by now, right? Row minus one. If I just give it here, now it will come down. You can see it here, right? That's how we'll be able to do. Okay, is that clear? I mean, because I spent a lot of time here to just wanted to make sure that you understand this thoroughly. Because when the basics are clear, you can play around with this. So now I'm just giving you some more additional patterns for your learning, and you can make use of ChatGPT and then learn all these things. Like for example, a hollow square. That means you put a square in all the sides of the. I mean, put the stars in all sides of the square. Okay, so that inside it will be empty. Similarly, you can have a triangle, hollow triangle. That means you'll have all stars in the triangle side. Inside, nothing will be there. Empty spaces will be there. Similarly, hollow hourglasses you can also do, and then also you can have hollow diamond. Also, you can just make it here. Okay, so it is nothing but you will be just only printing the outer side only, right? So inside all will be spaces only. Okay, so you can develop your logic and then you can develop that. Okay. So similarly, instead of stars, you can also make use of numbers as well. So like these patterns also can do one, because one star means one, then two star means two. We seen that, right? Similar way, you can just put if it is you can put a number itself. So the number will be getting printed. One means one time, second row two times, three times, four times like that. Or I just want it to have one second row one comma two, one two three, one two three four like that. Or still I can do one, and then here the two, then because the next sequence number three, then four, five, six, then seven, eight, nine, 10, like this I want to have it. Okay, all these things will be possible, but apply a logic for that. And this is called continuous number, and this is the palindromes triangle is there, wherein you will have 111 here, and you can see it here on both the side 2 2 3 2 1, again it is 1 2 3, and 4 3 4 3 2 1, and then 1 2 3 4 like this. This is called palindrome triangle. This is also you can try. And then there is Pascal triangle also. That means 1 and 1 1 the next one. The second one, what will happen in the third row, if you see, it is the sum of these two. 1 1, if you add it, it will be here. Okay, that means 1 2 3, you'll be getting it here. Again, you will start with 1. The sum of these two is 3. The sum of these two is 3 and then 1. So this is called Pascal triangle. Okay. Sometimes they will give only the draw the pattern of Pascal triangle for the number. And this is what is expected. Similarly, palindrome triangle like this. Okay. And the same way I mean, like the way you did it with number, you can also do with alphabets also. Like A, B, B, C, C, D, 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 like this you'll be able to do. Similarly, you can also have A, B, C, D, A, B, sorry, A, B, C, A, B, C, D, like that. Or like continuous numbers, how we have done, same continuous alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. So these are the patterns you can also try to do that one. Okay, only one clue I'll just give it to you is that you know that, right? Each character is a representative alphabet is represented by ASCII value, right? Typically, A will start with a number of 65 ASCII value. So B means 66, like that, you'll know. So with that, you'll be able to make use of that. Okay. So you can try all these things using ChatGPT for your additional learning part. Okay. So with this, we are almost coming close to the the module on loops, conditional statements, and control statements. Okay, and also suggest you to further learning. You can also do with Google Gemini AI in Colab. How to make use of that? Okay, I'll just show it to you now so that you'll be able to appreciate the power of the Gemini AI also. And also for the next module, we need to use the VS Code for Python. Okay, so that means VS Code, I mean Visual Studio Code editor, we need to use. And as I recommend you to go through this video and do the complete installation. Okay, so that we'll be able to next exercise we can directly do it in VS Code. Okay, because that is very predominantly used for any Python programming. Okay, so I want you to suggest you to install that and get yourself ready. Okay, let's quickly take some few examples. How do we make use of ChatGPT to generate the code? We'll just quickly see it here now, right? Okay, now let me just take ChatGPT first, and then we'll come back here. Okay, so let me open the ChatGPT here. Okay, so here, for example, for those who only known about particular languages like Java or C or C++, or even any other programming languages, maybe R, so many are there, right? So, and if you already done, you can easily learn Python just by using that particular code and then do that part. Okay, so let me quickly now just go through this sample example. So let me quickly just, we have learned in for loop, for example, I just generating the number table using for loop in Python, right? Okay, this code is there in Python. We all know that, right? Okay, now let's see, convert to Java. Where I'm just I know about how it works in the Python, but I just want to learn by Java by looking at this. Okay, let us see how do I do that one now. So now let me do it. You can see it here. This is the multiplication table. It is creating it here, and then this initial value now this one, and for initial value and I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus system out println, and the same I plus then x into num and equal to I into num. The same things you can just see it here, but only the syntaxes are different in Java. Are you getting it here? And that is also explained to you how it is being done, right? Okay, so now the same thing I just want to convert it to C. So let's say C++. Okay, let me run. So now we'll see how it is writing. You can see it here. All right. So the advantage with ChatGPT is that from one programming language to another programming language, you can easily convert so easily. Okay. Okay. So this is one part of conversion which I'm just explaining it here. Okay. Now let's again go to the Python code itself. Okay. Okay, suppose if I make some error, how does Python fixes the, I mean, ChatGPT fixes the error, we'll just have a look at it. For example, in Python, we know that at the end of this colon is available, assuming that I just missed this colon. Okay, I just removed it now. Okay, that means there is an error, right? So let me just run it now. The Python code you provided as an indentation error because print statement inside for loop must be indented. Here is the corrected Python code. You see it here. So it just put that colon automatically corrected and then it is giving to you. And then this code you can just copy and run and do that one. You can see it here. What I given is without the colon, it has given me this, right? And so this that's how it can be. The code corrections also can be done. Okay, not only that. Okay, I can also inform Python to create a code for me. So here, for example, I just generated the code. Okay, I can just simply ask the ChatGPT to give me the code. Okay, then a Python code for 5 multiplication table. I'm just giving it here. Okay, and let's say you can see it here. It is multiplication table for 5 and it is declaring the variable as 5 and print if multiplication table for number, it is a heading, it is given that now, and then for I in range 1 comma 11 print. When you can know that this f of I is nothing but 1 into number equal to 1 into number. This is also the one other way of printing. Okay, you see that same code and it also it executed and how the output will look like. Are you getting it here? So you don't have to write your code also, right? Interesting. Python just gives to you, right? So you can like this, you can just use this thing, and it's all depends upon how you give it the code. For example, I just want to use the same code using list. Okay, try with the list. I'm just giving it here. Okay, so now when I try with list, what will happen? Just see. So here you can just see it here. I just use a list here. Okay, and in the list for I, the value it's everything it is given to there. Okay, so the complete thing you'll be able to do now. Okay, the list is used here. Okay, and so likewise you'll be able to do this one. Okay, and the I mean typically with the example whatever are shown is it's like how to do the program. I mean, you make use of ChatGPT to convert one program to another program, right? I mean, the next one is if there are any bugs are there, how to fix that one. And then also we look at how to generate a code itself completely without even you writing it. Okay, so that's what we have seen the three different examples, right? So, but to make use of ChatGPT, we may think that when ChatGPT can give you all the thing, why do I need to do the learn all these things, right? But if you understand the basics only, you'll be able to make use of ChatGPT or Gemini or any AI, OpenAI tools which is supporting you for the coding. So you'll be able to make use of it more effectively. Okay. So that is the reason understanding the basics is very important. Then you will be know how to increase your productivity by making use of these AI tools. Okay. I hope you are able to follow. Okay. So we will learn some more things with ChatGPT or Gemini. We can do that. So let me now quickly show you the. I mean, for example, let me do with the Gemini AI itself. Okay. So as you know, the Colab directly has the Gemini AI integrated with that by default. Okay. So here you can see it here, start coding. Till now we are using that, or generate with AI. We are just putting it here. I'm just simply we put generating with AI. But here you can just write how to do with that. Okay. So now, for example, I'm just asking generate Python code to print a hollow square, hollow square pattern size, say, let me say 6. Okay. Now let me enter. So it is defining and the size it is creating it and all the code it is generating it here. Okay. So let us, it is now saying print hollow square. That is what it is giving here. Let's see, first run the code, you will see. You got this hollow square. You see the code now it is written. It is defined. Print hollow square of size. What are the size you are going to give? It will take that one. And for I in range, what are the size you are giving it? Range 5 means 6 if you given. So 6 you are seeing it here, right? Tomorrow if I change it because it's creating it as a function. Anyway, we will be learning that function in later part of it. Okay. And then you can see for I in range size, and if I equal to 0 or I equal to size minus 1, then you print the value, because only here you need to print the value, right? Else print the whatever the line you are writing it here, and how it is doing example output it is giving to you. Okay, so like this, instead of you doing all the code, you'll be able to get make use of that. Okay, again my humble submission is that during the initial learning period, try to minimize the usage of ChatGPT. You put your thinking capacity to the possible extent, and after that, you can validate with this AI tool so that your learning can be strengthened. Okay, but don't totally depend on this. Then too, you will be, so over a period of time, you'll be missing your own individual ability to think and solve any problems. Okay, but understand the tools, how it can help you for improving your productivity. Okay, okay. With this example, I just would like to conclude the today's module. Hope you enjoyed it. And for the next, before getting into the next module, I suggest you to go through the link which I given at the end to install, VS Code in your system, and then get prepared for the next session. Okay. Until then, bye. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.